Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wake Up Missoula. I'm your host, Scott Ramp, and I'm here to tell you about all the election results and polls and stuff like that. And there's a lot of close ones happening here in Montana. Some of them are too close to call, while others are pretty much clear cut. I'll talk to you guys about a little bit about that and more. But the bigger news is that winter is definitely coming, and it definitely snowed last night. And if you were around the day before, a little bit of snow happened that day as well. But most of the other counties east of the divide, as people say in Montana, it's seen a lot more snow. So currently it is foggy outside. You have a winter advisory warning. You're going to see a lot of those. So you might want to get a little advised about winter. Your high is going to be 38 degrees. Your low is going to be 22. Thursday is going to be sunny with a high of 38, but a low of 17 degrees. So we're going to have a cold snip the next couple of days. So if you guys are planning on going out and about, you might need to think about wearing a thicker coat, or a coat at all. But you can still wear shorts. Hey, it's Montana. Who cares? All right, let's talk about some things that are happening here locally in the news. So Democrat Josh Slotnick will replace Gene Curtis with no one running against him in the general election. The primary was the big election between county commissioners, and Josh Slotnick got the support from the other county commissioners here in Missoula, which didn't help Gene Curtis, who will be replaced in this next session. T.J. McDermott will continue as sheriff as he beat independent Travis Wolfstedt by more than 5,000 votes. It's currently 5,000 votes, and it's pretty much called at this point. A proposed countywide $15 million obligation open space bond. That was a big, they wanted to ask the citizens of Missoula. City proposed an open space bond to renew an open space bond that's been continuing through the city of Missoula for like 20 years. And it was approved. So there'll be more open space opportunities for the city of Missoula to buy open space as it becomes more available. Of course, those are more localized. If you are interested in finding out more about your general election in the state of Montana, you can go to MissoulaVotes.com. It'll show you the election results, and it'll bring you to this wonderful page. As you can see here, it's the Corey Stapleton, Montana Secretary of State website about the 2018 general election, November 6th. So you get to see all these things. And if you're interested in finding out these counties in the Montana area, oh, sorry, I got to actually show you that page. Here is the page. If you go to MissoulaVotes.com, you click on here, and then you show up right here. And here's the website once again. Sorry about that. You get to check out all this wonderful county stuff. You click on the county, it kind of shows you the county elections. I kind of just told you the brief in the state, but of course here is some of the ballot issues. These are the ones that the state voted on. The mill levy for Montana University System, that was a big deal. There was a vote on yes on that one. That was a $15 million bond mill levy, 6 mill levy. There's the prohibition of ballot collection by certain individuals. That was voted on yes. So basically, you can, let's say you're homebound and you want somebody to deliver a ballot for you, you can now do that with this new thing. It's a little more expanded than that. You can look up more information about that as well. Raise the tobacco tax? I don't think so. That's not going to happen in the state of Montana. Deny a hard rock mine permit for the perpetual treatment of water? I don't think so. Looks like they don't have to have a permit for the treatment of the water in the system. They can mine. So there you go. Those are some of the results in the state. I have more of this stuff as well, of course. The biggest thing you're probably wondering in the state is what's going on with Jon Tester and Matt Rosendale. We don't know yet because there's still a lot of precincts which are partially reporting. If we take a look at this website one more time, you get to check out State Senate. And it kind of shows you, wait, that's the state senate, my bad. You have to go to federal. So, of course, if you check out right here on the website, you can see that Matt Rosendale holds about a 3,000 vote lead against Jon Tester. So far, there's 295 districts that are partially voted in, and there's fully voted, it was 371, so 3,000 votes. So it's going to be a really close race, and if it gets any closer, they might have to do a recount. Who knows? We haven't had a recount in forever. we might need a recount. I don't know. I mean, Jon Tester has always fought tooth and nail for many of his spots here in Missoula, in Montana, excuse me. So that's kind of what's happening here. Excuse me, I need to reiterate that the wide support for an estimated $19 million a year to the Montana university system, and voters have supported this every 10 years since 1948. So just so you know, the state of Montana is approved the $19 million a year to the Montana university system, which includes Montana State University and the University of Montana, respectively. Okay, so that's kind of what's happening there. Big news in the national circuit. The GOP has retained the Senate, so GOP has 51 currently people in the solid seats, where there should still be 4 more seats left to call, but the GOP has 51, which is considered the majority. While on the other side, on the House has about 220 seats for the Democrats, and you need 218 to have full control of the House of Representatives, and the Democrats have control of the House now. So Nancy Pelosi got a call from Trump the other night to congratulate herself on becoming majority leader of the U.S. House of Reps. She held the position 8 years ago, but was demoted to minority leader later on. But of course, with 27 new seats, a whirlwind of fresh new faces, including what the media calls as the youngest person ever to hold office. So New York Democratic Congressional District number 14, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez won in the Bronx. The first Muslim American out of Michigan, Rashida Tlaib, and of course out of Minnesota, Ohad Omar. She will continue her seat on U.S. Congress. So there's 2 Muslim women on the House of Representatives. So that's kind of what's happening here. There's a kind of a brief overview on what's happening in the Senate and the House. The House is clearly Democrat, and the Senate is clearly red. GOP. So that's kind of what's happening in those. So regardless of if Jon Tester wins or loses, the Senate's controlled by the GOP. So that's kind of what's happening in the news today. I'm going to throw it on over to some new programs that are going to be airing on MCAT to get your mind off of politics and to get your mind onto international issues and more with the new episodes, which will be airing on MCAT.
So this is pretty exciting. You could see how easy it could be to participate in our democracy. I brought my ID, and I'm hoping maybe I could get a absentee ballot, and if I get it, I can fill it out right here and actually have voted right before your very eyes. Hold on. Well, guess what? I did it. I completed my ballot. It was 3 pages. The first page was double-sided. And then don't forget the third page. It's in there somewhere. Once the ballot is completed, I'm going to place it in my anonymous envelope.
The first operational rocket aircraft, the Messerschmitt, there is his name again, the ME-163. This was like flying a Roman candle. You know, it took off a skid, and then you had one pass at an Allied aircraft so fast you might not even be able to draw a bead on it for firing and then landing it. You can see it looks like a Roman candle, kind of like a ketchup bottle with wings. But this was the first operational rocket aircraft, the first, well, I wouldn't say the prototype of what we would call today the cruise missile. The V-1 buzz bomb, as the Allies called it, at least. The prototype of the intercontinental ballistic missile, the V-2. Hitler called these V weapons, Vergeltungswaffen, revenge weapons, vengeance weapons for the Allied bombing of Germany.
Building a product line which in the past has had maybe 80% yield. It's a very difficult product to build. And in the last couple of weeks, it's in the high 90s. Wow. And the question, which usually doesn't get asked, but we made sure we asked, both myself and the lead, was, what are we doing different? Why is it 90-some percent, 97%? What's different?
That's good.
You know, to have people think in a different way. Like, sometimes we do focus on the negatives instead of the positives.
So I was fascinated by your comment, and as I say, I agree with it completely. The only contribution I would make perhaps is to supply you with some references to the Italian literature that is coming out. This literature has made no impact whatsoever in the United States. I've seen no reviews of it, no mentions of it. But in Italy, it's big news. There have been 3 or 4 big books that will document your point and support you completely, as I do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That last program is very interesting because it also alludes to the fact that Mussolini and FDR were good buds well into the early 30s, but of course that soon changed in World War II. So I just wanted to give a little information about that. And of course, I just wanted to say that this Sunday is Veterans Day, and they're going to be celebrating Armistice Day, which is the effective end of World War I, which ended in on the 11th day of the 11th hour, 11th, November 11th, which is happening on Sunday, which would be the 11th of the 11th, which is going to be 100 years later. And Fort Missoula Heritage Hall will be hosting that and more. So there's a lot of World War II history things happening on our programs, and you get a little bit more about some international aspects during a lot of those World Wars. So I do have some city council, but I do want to allude to where you can find those programs and more. You can easily find them at MCAT.org. MCAT.org. It's so easy, a Missoulian can use it. All right, so anyways, go to channel 189, and you can find all sorts of wonderful, wonderful programs. The most latest programs goes up here. See the list from the top to the very bottom. Missoula Out and About election offices. So I just want to allude to the election offices. They do a lot of hard work to count all the ballots. They get a lot of volunteers to work with them, and along with some short-time staff, some seasonal workers to work on this as well. You get to see a bunch of programs that are airing on MCAT as well, so you can check it all out and more. All you got to do is log on to MCAT.org. And also, from MCAT.org, I'm going to offer you guys some city council. So if you can't see it, sometimes I can't see it on the city's website, which is ci.missoula.mt.us. But in this regard, in this respect, I have found it on MCAT.org, because MCAT airs it on our channel 190, which is our civic channel. All right, enough of that. Heather Harp talks about rerouting a power line. That was one of the biggest things here in the city of Missoula, is that with power lines that cross the Clark Fork River, some of the issues have been flooding, and some of the power lines have been going down in a lot of situations. So Northwestern Energy and Missoula Parks and Recs are working together to make this work, and this is what Heather Harp had to say about that.
Basically, we had a couple of transmission lines that were scoured out due to the recent flooding, and Northwestern Energy has in the past spent a great deal of money trying to reestablish those poles. And through a coordinated effort with our Parks Department, they were able to actually find a new location, routing it through Tower Street conservation land. And as a result, this new transmission line will be in an area that's going to be far less susceptible to erosion and scouring in future flooding events. And most importantly, I think for the residents of Ward 6 who are south of the Clark Fork River, they will be able to rest assured that their utility service will continue without interruption.
All right, so they talked about this in a meeting. I talked about it on my morning show during the City Council report. They had video of recent floods that have happened. Tower Street flooding, usually up and towards the Russell Street Bridge. One of the biggest things that are happening is that they want to basically move a lot of the power poles, and with some help with Missoula Parks and Recreation, they were going to restore the area where the floodplain is for more of a natural place, while moving it up further into more of the open space, pretty much having the lines much higher up above the tree lines and above trees that will not extend a certain height. So they won't have to worry about trimming some trees. They won't have to worry about flooding. And that's some of the big news that are happening in the city of Missoula. But there's still more. Yes, there's more. One of the biggest things is that Michelle Cares has been spearheading a campaign. I don't know if it's a campaign, but a committee, mind you, in the city of Missoula to help a newly appointed criminal justice committee. So and this is basically a city-county-wide criminal justice reform.
The Criminal Justice Coordinating Council will be, once ratified, a group of elected officials and folks working in the area of criminal justice to do, among other things, try and reduce the jail population 18 to 22% with funds made available through the MacArthur Foundation. And we'll be doing this via data-driven efforts by hiring a data analyst, among other positions. And so I thought it worth mentioning some of those things. I think that the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council will be a heavy hitter, and you'll hear more about them in the future. Thank you.
All right, so that was Michelle Cares. The city, of course, approved this since the money is coming from the MacArthur grant, which is $700,000. So they're going to be initializing 5 programs, which include jail diversion, social services, case managing for some individuals with mental disabilities, and they're going to work with people that they shouldn't just throw people in jail just because they have mental disabilities. They have to go on a case-by-case basis and figure out ways to integrate these people into society and keep them out of jail. And that was one of the biggest things that they want to help do. That's pretty much it. Pretty much, there's a really short meetings. They originally wanted $1.2 million, but they are perfectly fine with $700,000 to help kickstart this committee and to have people on the board and help people in these situations. You can find out more on my sister's show, Missoula Live, where you get grants writer and county commissioner who came on the Missoula Live show at the very tail end of the show. You can check it out. It's going to be airing on MCAT on channel 190 every day from 5 to 6 p.m. And you can check all that out as well by going on to MCAT.org. But of course, to find out more information about upcoming meetings and more, you can go to ci.missoula.mt.us. It is a wonderful website where you can see upcoming meetings, agenda items, and more all on this website, just to wonder what's happening here in the city of Missoula. All right, guys, now it's time for a brand new episode of Dubbin' Stuff. It is from the movie Street Scene. So without further ado, here is this.
The city I live in. It's so nice, such a beautiful day. Oh, look at this guy. I wonder what he's up to today.
Hello there, young man.
No thanks, I don't want any.
Such a tease. Ooh. Hey, excuse me.
I don't want any, just leave.
I'm a nice guy. You can trust me.
I'm just trying to brush my hair.
Nobody likes me. Hey, what about... no, never mind. Forget about it.
What? Whatever. Oh, yes. The city is alive, after all. But alive with... vengeance.
What's going on over there?
Hey, honey. Do you know where my socks are?
I think they're in the second drawer from the left.
That's my second drawer from the left. No, wait, you can't go up there. Oh no, I have to warn her. Hey, I'm warning you.
Shut up, I'm trying to comb my hair.
You don't understand, you fool. Hurry, no, watch out. Get out of there. He's coming. He's gonna get you.
I have to get out of here.
You broke my window for the last time. My God.
What's happening?
I'll kill him. That's my second drawer to the left. What do you think you're doing? I'm gonna get you.
Oh my God! I'm here.
So am I. What in tarnation? You, go get the police.
What the heck is going on?
Okay, everyone stand back. Look out for that man, he's coming down. Now you listen here. I was in the right. He was in the wrong, he took my drawer. Now stand back. Nobody get any closer. Oh no you don't. I see what you're doing. I don't got enough bullets, but I'll be back with more. Get out of the way, please tell me. Ow, don't touch me there. Oh, that's weird. Get out of the way. We gotta get him. We're gonna get him.
And on the right, we see an angry mob. Let's go check it out.
every time I see one of these old-timey movies that are in the public domain, mind you, I just want to watch them because some of them are just like completely and utterly ridiculous. I just want to check it out. So watch that movie from the 1931 year, Street Scene. And of course, that was quite a scene on the street. I really like that tracking motion with the camera and everything. All right, let's talk about events. And then I'll probably throw it once again to the more election results just to kind of see what's happening there currently just before I end the show. All right. Hey, guys, Cat Grizz is coming up really quickly, which will happen on not this Saturday, but the next Saturday. Who knew? So Can the Cats is going to be hosted by Pure West Christie's. This is one of the many locations that are going to be doing this. You can donate your cans, your non-perishable food items to Pure West Christie's in the downtown Missoula. We'll be accepting non-perishable food donations as part of the year's Can the Cats food drive. Donations may be dropped off between now and the 16th of November. So you can check all that out, and you can find out more information by Googling Can the Cats. Tiny Tales and Storytime. Tiny Tales is going to be hosted at Missoula Food Bank at Empower Place, where they'll teach kids about little items, books, of course, and a little bit of food at Missoula Food Bank. So if you guys are planning on going to Missoula Food Bank to get some cheap food, you can go there and you can have your kids learn to read. And Storytime's got Frenchtown Branch. These are the sponsored events from the Missoula Public Library. You can check them all out, all starting at 10:30 a.m. And if you're interested in keeping out this cold, a winter advisory warning, and you don't like the idea of your kids wearing shorts outside like every other Montanan, you can send them to Roots Acro Sports Center. You can send them to Missoula Indoor Sports Arena and Mismo Gymnastics for all their indoor fun, while also in a padded environment where they can do flips and tricks without hurting themselves. Too bad. Kids will hurt themselves. They always find a way. There's always a way. Scrabble and Bridge around 12:30. Lunchtime today at the Missoula Senior Center, the best dance floor in Missoula. Kitchen Table Conversations, Missoula Food Bank and Community Center. Back at the Missoula Food Bank, do you loved ones know your wishes? Now it's time to make them known. When a person becomes sick and unable to communicate, trying to guess what their wishes are is a painful situation for families and friends to go through. And they're doing this Kitchen Table Conversation. You can sign up online. Just go to missoulafooodbank.org. Open hours in the Makerspace from 2 to 5 p.m. 3D printer, Makerspace, all sorts of cool things that the Missoula Public Library offered to the community, and it's open space for anybody to drop in and make some stuff. Lewis and Clark Neighborhood Leadership Team Meeting, Lewis and Clark Apartments. Hey, are you in the Lewis and Clark neighborhood? They're having a meeting, and you can talk about your woes and your concerns about the neighborhood if you live in the Lewis and Clark area, or you're about to move there, or you're moving out because of it's the Lewis and Clark neighborhood. Lewis and Clark Apartments hosting a government meeting at 4 p.m. And, of course, the agendas will be posted prior to the meeting. You can learn more about that. Community Potluck, just so you guys know, if you want to learn about avalanche safety, you got to go to Seeley Lake to find out at the Swan Valley Community Hall. They're doing a November Community Potluck Dinner, which will be held tonight at 6 p.m. And also in the Swan Valley Community Hall, which is in Condon. Wow, I must have been completely wrong because I always associate Seeley Lake with Swan, Seeley Swan. All right, so it's going to be in Condon. My bad. Forget what I said. In fact, forget everything I said. There's a presentation on avalanche awareness, which will feature Jenny Coultier of the Flathead Avalanche Center. And if you care to go to Condon. Battle of the Bulge, Montana Perspective, 75 years since the Battle of the Bulge, and Missoula Public Library, John Driscoll and Randall LeCoic discussed their recent book, A Battle of the Bulge, A Montana Perspective, and Montana's involvement in the historic event. The authors will give an opportunity for a discussion where relatives of Montanans who participate in the battle can learn more about their soldiers' general situation on the battlefield. This discussion will be integrated into a second edition print for the 75th anniversary of the battle. Discussion in the large meeting rooms is at 6 to 8 p.m. If you're interested in learning, sitting back and listening to some men's a cappella, it's 4-part harmony singing at the River Valley Church at 7 p.m. They have a bunch of concerts that they do there a lot. So weekly rehearsal at the Rocky Mountain Mountaineers Men Barbershop Chorus. Males of any age who can hear a sound and match pitch are invited to come to the rehearsal. Reading music is helpful but not required. They sing everything from old-style barbershop to 50s crooners to Beatles and Beach Boys. And you can call Tom at 253-2811 for more information. I think that is Tom Benson from Missoula Downtown or Arts Missoula. And you can call him once again. That number is 2811. So, hey, you're retired. You have a husband that's just kind of sitting around. Why don't you send him to this a cappella singing? He sings all the time to annoy you. Why don't you just send him out singing? All right. So, anyways, that's that. If you're interested in doing a jazz night tonight at the Top Hat, they're doing Kimberly Carlson Jazz. We'll be playing jazz music tonight at the Top Hat. Trivia night at the Broadway Bar and Grill, trivia at the Silver Slipper, trivia beer suit at the Press Box. You got karaoke at the Dark Horse Bar, karaoke at the Badlander. So those are some of your events happening then. I have an art clip for you guys. This is going to be featured at the Missoula Art Museum. So when I come back, I'll talk about your Thursday events and then more about your updated polling situation between John Tester and Matt Rosendale. Thanks to our very own Rick Phillips for producing those art clips, because when the art's gone, you may never see those ever again. All right, let's talk about some things that are happening for Thursday. Hey, YMCA every Tuesday, Thursday from 9 to about 11:30. They have family fun time for only $22. You and your family can go to the YMCA, and they won't turn families away if you can't pay. Tiny Tales and Storytime at Missoula Public Library starting at 10:30 a.m. and this is at the titular Missoula Public Library. Hands-on Science Spectrum Discovery Center opens Wednesday through Sunday, I believe, and it starts at 11 a.m. Most days when they open up, and they're talking about hands-on health. They explore the human anatomy and the impacts of health in our society. This Discovery branch will also have Lee Joyce, a University of Montana graduate student researching the influence of natural disturbances and community structures and the amphibian parasite dynamic. And they're going to be talking about spinning. They're going to be doing spinning tops in the makerspace. So they have an awesome 3D printer, and you can make make your own spinning top. Get your vagina checked for cancer, people. Cervical. I needed to show. Boom. There you go. Cervical cancer screenings are happening at Community Cancer Care and Prevention, starting at 2 p.m. And this is free cervical cancer screens for women who are aged 21 to 64. Space is limited. You can call to register at 327-3911. Again, that number is 327-3911. You can find out more information at the Community Cancer Care and Prevention. So that's happening pretty much starting in at 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And it pretty much happens for a couple hours just to kind of get your vagina checked. Homewards Rent-Wise Workshop. Salvation Army is hosting a Homewards free Rent-Wise workshop from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Hey, if you're just starting renting or you know somebody who's going to start renting, it's good to know how your credit score impacts renting, how to improve your credit score from renting, common reasons for rental rejections, and how to move past them. Saving goals and overcoming renting barriers. So sometimes, if you are renting, they always have to check your social security and your information, and if you have bad credit, a lot of times they don't risk it, so a lot of times you have to look for situations where you have to rent under people who already have a rented house. So a lot of times you might just have to be roommates with a house which already has tenants already in them, because that'll help your transition into becoming a renter by paying those things on time. So that's one trick I'm going to give you for free, but you can learn more by going to homeward.org for more information. That's home and word, not ward. It's HOME, and then word as in word up dog, or WORD. So Homeward. It's a great organization that offers free financial fitness classes and more. International Game Week Matinee. Whew. Missoula Public Library, they're doing a screening of Ready Player One for International Games Week. It's a movie that's presented in the large meeting room from 3 to 5 p.m. And also, if you want to watch a movie or you want your kids to play with some Legos and get creative, every Thursday at 3:30 p.m. there is a Lego Club at the Missoula Public Library. This is really cool. This is accessible. So Zootown Arts Community Center will kick off a public phase of the Zach Capital campaign on tomorrow at 5 p.m. Community leaders will join Zach supporters, board, and staff to celebrate a $1.9 million already raised for the relocation and expansion project. Architectural renderings of the remodel plans will be available for the review, and Zach board and staff will be on hand for interviews. So you can ask them, it's like, hey, where's Zach going to be? Or, why'd you guys decide to choose this with your building? And all that stuff. So it's going to be at the Good Works Place starting at 5 p.m. Their goal is to raise $4.25 million. So they've already raised $1.9 million. An extensive remodel and the equipment needed to turn this building into a community center art center, which will continue to serve Montanans for many generations to come. All right, guys. University tomorrow night at 7 p.m. University of Montana President Seth Bodner will be speaking on leading in an unpredictable and I should have read this before he said it. So he's going to be talking a unpredictable world. Seth will discuss how we must adapt when an unexpected disrupts everything we've prepared. All right, so that's kind of what's happening. It's going to be leadership night at the University of Montana. I believe they'll be doing it at the Montana Theater, but you might have to check the University of Montana's website for more information about that. That's umt.edu/events. Of course, you can find out more events at MissoulaEvents.net, but of course, I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the late night events that are happening Thursday. They have an open mic night at the Green Alternative Dispensary. They have open mic at the VFW, rocking karaoke at the Dark Horse. Party Volcano is at the Badlander, Thursday night party. And then Top Hat Lounge is going to be Rumpik Mountain Boys, which would be a bluegrass jam band. So those are some of your events and more you can find on MissoulaEvents.net. MissoulaEvents.net. Hey, what's happening here in Missoula? Here you go, MissoulaEvents.net. All right, guys. Like I promised, I'm going to tell you about what's happening in the basically what's happening between Matt Rosendale and John Tester. And so far, John Tester has pulled into the lead. This is, of course, let's see, it's 9:33 a.m. John Tester has 211,596 votes, while Matt Rosendale currently has 210,574 votes. And so far, there's 175 partially voted areas. Of course, I kind of already assumed that there was going to be a big Democratic bump, courtesy of Missoula, because Missoula's votes were partially counted, and Missoula is fairly blue. Gallatin County it's also partially voted as well, and I think Gallatin County has been partially red, but I'm not entirely sure. But you never know. So so far, we have let's see, we have 74% of all the votes have been fully counted. There's still another 26% of votes still have to be fully counted from the partially, so there's 175 places that haven't finished counting all the ballots. So this is kind of what's happening here. It's a close race, and I'm going to end it right here. Of course, I suggest you guys go check out the elections office. All you got to go to is MissoulaVotes.com. You click on this link that says General Election, and it brings you to this page, and it tells you everything that you need to know. You got precincts reporting, statewide voter turnout. So, of course, registered. There's a 711,259 registered voters in the state of Montana. Really high, but only about 439,216 people actually voted currently in this election. So that's kind of what's happening there. So we still have about 3/4 of the votes already voted, and we're going to see how it all turns out when we are 100% sure what's going to happen. Hey, there might be a recount. I'm kind of hoping for a recount. I'm just very curious about having a recount. Of course, it's going to cost the state a lot of money for a recount as well. So just stay tuned. You can go to that page and more for more information. This is 9:36 a.m. in the morning. If you're watching this afternoon or online, this is just the repeat. So thank you for joining me. It's going to be an exciting time. And for Wake Up Missoula, I'm Scott Ramph. Thank you, and have a good rest of your week.